Ask the member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. During the spring sitting of the Legislature, the Minister of Health and Wellness committed to forming a registry that would contain data on all students and staff who were at TOSH during the renovations. Since then, I have met with the Minister on 2 separate occasions where I sought clarification about the registry. A question to the Minister of Health and Wellness. Can you clarify where is this registry currently housed?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the TOSH file falls inside the Department of Transportation, as it always did, because we were the ones who renovated the school. It was an important process to bring forward. It was going to extend the life of the school by 30 years. Also, if you recall, I was the one who initially uncovered the email that started this whole thing many moons ago, and kind of brought it to the stage where it is today. The public were even aware of it was because of the work that our party did. To answer your question, the actual registry itself lies inside the Department of Education.
The Honourable Member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
So the purpose behind the registry is to track any potential long-term health effects of the students who were present in the school. How can this be, question to the Minister of Education. How can this be realized if your department is not connected to the health records?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation, Energy and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So again, the TOSH file falls under me because that's where the construction was done. And while it has implications on other departments, as lots of files do throughout government, as you'd be well aware, what happened at the TOSH situation, we have dealt with. There was an accelerated construction. It was acknowledged the fact that something did happen there. As I said, I was the one who uncovered it. It was the work of our party that it was brought fully to the attention of the public. We spent many, many months on this file. The Minister committed to a registry in the spring session. It falls in the Department of Education, and hopefully you are in favor of that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So first, I just want to clarify that the public is aware of this issue due to the work of the parents who have done an incredible amount of work to make this visible and known, and have sought out information on this since the issues began. So I want to make that statement. I am confused because I've been asking questions today about the registry, and I'm getting some general responses about the TOSH issues broadly, but I really just need to know specifically about the registry, and so do the parents. So if the registry falls under the Department of Education, I ask the Minister of Education if you can tell me a little bit about this registry. Let's just leave it open. What can you tell me about the registry?
The Honourable Minister of Education and Lifelong Learning.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the concept of this registry is a very straightforward one, Mr. Speaker. The Public Schools Branch maintains records in accordance with, regulations and retention schedules, and they provide information on all students in our system. And, they can be accessed when needed by current and former students of any school, and including Three Oaks. And when you talk about retention schedules, we're talking about decades and decades and decades ago, far, far into the future. We're talking like 50 years, Mr. Speaker. And so we're very satisfied in government that these records maintained by the Public Schools Branch provide a repository for all students, school attendance, history, and address the concerns expressed by the TOSH parents to create a registry.
The Honourable Member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So just to clarify, will these records be in any way linked to health card numbers of these students, or any way to access any of this information through the Department of Health, or to track long-term health impacts of the students that might occur in the future? Is any of that possible through the current registry housed within the Department of Education?
The Honourable Minister of Education and Lifelong Learning.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. In fact, the answer is that these records contain detailed information about the students including their name and when they attended the school, these sorts of things. And so, yes, it would be fairly straightforward to link these to their health records if at some point in the future that was needed. And I should point out, Mr. Speaker, this is true for all students in the public schools branch, and that's why we maintain these attendance records in accordance with regulations and retention schedules, Mr. Speaker. And it's information that has been done for many years, and I think it will serve well for all purposes in the future.
The honourable member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So for anyone who has worked, in areas of health or perhaps health research, they will tell you that having easy access within the department to this type of information will be crucial should the need ever arise, and hopefully it never does, that this health impacts that may occur as a result of the TOSH renovations need to be tracked, and that we'll need to have access to that information. I think it's imperative that in the future we not leave the health of these students again up to the fate of basically Facebook posts, and the parents need to advocate. So I will just ask, are there any concrete plans to track any long-term health data through this registry, or is there anything else other than a list basically that's going to be held in education?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker. So a number of things. First of all, I want to clarify with the member, there's been hundreds of pages of information shared, while probably through the FOIP process, there's nothing that I'm hiding. If the members and Toby, if you think that we have stuff that you don't have, you're more than welcome to it. But when I say that's all there is, I mean, and you FOIP and find that out, that's all I can really do. We're not hiding anything, and I will go back and say, if I hadn't released that original email, no one would have known that this was an issue. No one would have known this was happening. I'm not taking away from the fact that Toby's group has fought for this, but what I am saying is no one would have known if we didn't stand up and talk about this in the legislature, and we did. And I'm proud of the work that we did when we were in opposition to bring that information forward. And none of that should be taken away from us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Tyne Valley, Sherbrooke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I find it quite surprising and brazen to hear the Minister speak so clearly and take credit for work that I would like to have acknowledged to the parents who really deserve the credit for continuing this fight, not just saying it once and moving on. They have fought on this very hard. I know that parents have tried to find information about this registry. Parents have called both the Department of Health and Department of Education to find out where is the registry, what information is held. That information is not available anywhere online, and they have not been told any information about the registry when they have called. So how will parents and the public be able to find out the information about this registry?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation, Infrastructure and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So again, I'm not taking all the credit for this. As you say in your preamble, I've said clearly that Toby and her group have fought for this, and well, they should have. What I am saying is that it wasn't just one day. We fought about this for many days in the legislature. You can go back and read Hansard. You can go back and read the Guardian reports. You can go back and read the CBC reports. We brought this up over and over and over again for a number of months. I'm proud of the work that we did. Again, and I'll put the same out. If Toby and the people that she represents want information from me, then they're more than welcome to it.